welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, going to go over a story titled, When My Husband Suggested Open Marriage, My Marriage Ended in My Heart. And guys, this story is the opposite of what I normally do. In this story, it's the husband who brings up the open marriage to the wife. And understandably, and I can't blame her in the least, she ain't having it. First, she's brokenhearted, but then she's looking at reality that ain't going to work. And just like the title says, he wants the open marriage. And you're going to see in the story, guys, she really thought they had a great marriage. She is 38, he's 40. They have 2 kids, a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old. And he's pretty much trying to sell her the same exact BS that so many gals try to sell their husbands. And I'm honest, I'll admit that I don't care whether it's a man or a woman, you pull this type of crap, it's over. End of story. When the gals do it, you can almost always count on that either A, they're already hooking up with some other dude, or they got somebody or multiple somebodies lined up. In this situation here, same freaking thing. And people usually don't ask for these types of things unless they are certain, or close to being certain, that they got it made. They know that their spouse, in this case a woman, is not going anywhere, and they can pull this type of shit. Because if they thought they would leave, they wouldn't bring this up. And if they truly loved them, they wouldn't bring it up either. But in these stories, it's all the same. Either the guy bring it up or the girl bring it up. So I'm going to go through this one, guys, to show you from a different side of the things. Now it's the guy that brings it up and how it works out for him, how things work out. And it's always the same story. But remember, whether you're a man or a woman, your partner, your husband, your wife, whoever brings it up, the open relationship, open marriage, it's over. Okay? It's a bombshell. You certainly don't want your family ruined, but if they truly loved you, they wouldn't do this. End of freaking story. So it starts off, says here, he just asked me out of the blue after 7 or 8 months ago, and my initial reaction was, am I not enough for him? I mean, yes, I know I could make more effort, lose these last stubborn 5 pounds, maybe put on sexy lingerie more often, and I don't know, spend less time with our babies, and not to sleep halfway through our movie night on Fridays, but it still came as a shock to me that he wasn't more satisfied with our life. I thought we had a solid foundation of mutual love and respect, and we both have a high sex drive. Sounds like the guys. They're working hard, they're trying their best, blah, 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 and yet then they find this out. Explain that has nothing to do with our love or life or relationship. This could be just something more to add for the both of us. My marriage died then and there, in my heart at least. I didn't want to make any rash decisions while heartbroken and act without thinking carefully at first. I said no, and that it was nothing I ever wanted to try. He said that it was fine, and he loved me immensely. If he's bringing it up, he A, thinks that she ain't going anywhere, B, could give a shit about her hooking up with other dudes, and C, he's already got somebody else. He wants to have a cake and eat it too. She needs to end it with him. But obviously, it's not so easy to do just like that. But in your mind, you're working things out to walk away, because it's not a good situation. It's going to be a bad marriage. The kids are going to be growing up in a house where mom and dad don't love each other. There's turmoil. It's a bad situation overall. Now, months have gone by, and I've been thinking carefully about my initial feeling about my marriage died, and it isn't changing. He has noticed and even complained that I have been distant, and he wanted me back, but I don't know. I don't think it is working for anyone with what my husband suggested looming between us, even if he hasn't approached me with his suggestion again. Dude, you said you wanted to go F other women and say you don't care if she hooks up with other dudes. How do you expect her to react? Now, maybe she said, I need to lose 5 pounds. Well, that probably means she needs to lose 10 or 15 pounds. Okay, fine. You can work with her at first. If you got a wife that is let herself go and is put on a ton of weight, and I'm not talking 5 pounds, it can be a little more adventurous, whatever, try at least to work with her. And if you aren't happy, then really end it. Don't try this open marriage shit. And it goes both ways. It's not just the feeling of inadequacy that is putting a wedge between us, but the thought that he can imagine another man being with me. Right. Shows he doesn't care. Touching, kissing, and being inside me without it making him sick with jealousy. I even think this part hurt me more than him wanting to sleep with other women. That's what I thought. We have 2 kids together, 4 and 1 years old, and our marriage is working very well. Not as well as you think, honey. We are compatible in every other aspect, and our babies are happy. How can I ask for divorce knowing that nothing will be the same for my babies anymore? I need advice on how to move on with him with all these feelings inside of me. I can't just divorce a man for asking me something and then respecting me with when I said no. I just can't. Well, you can, because it's over. When they ask it, it is over. And she is going to realize this in part 2 that. And the children are 4 and 1 years old, okay? They're going to be okay. If they're older, she'll be more complicated. The 4-year-old is going to be obviously more impacted than the 1-year-old, but the 4-year-old will be okay. Now's the update to see what happens. He says, I want to start by thanking everyone who wanted to help me. I really appreciate you. Before I update, I wanted to maybe apologize for the poly people who found my post offensive. The hell with the poly people that found your post offensive. People that are usually into different lifestyles tend to be very offended over anything and everything. Don't apologize. Because by apologizing to them for feeling the way you do and your marriage is being torn up, you're only enabling them to bitch and complain and raise holy hell about other stupid shit. So don't apologize to them. I don't know, but seeing that I was very clear in my post that your lifestyle wasn't for me, I don't know why you still made superior comments about how better off you are, even making it sound like wanting a monogamous relationship with my husband equals wanting an abusive, possessive husband. Because these people are assholes, that's why. And what delusional world are you living? You know how many poly men, women I know that are in very abusive relationships? Why do you feel the need to shit on other people's choices to feel better about yourselves? What am I missing here? Again, because these people are assholes. Or at least many. I'm sure there's some poly people out there that aren't a-holes, but there are a lot are. And there's people that are monogamous people that are assholes too, so go figure. Anyway, I don't know about my feelings. I've spoken to my husband about how I was feeling. I told him how I was turned off by the whole thing and that even if he respected my no, something is broken inside of me and that I don't know how to mend it. How do I find my way back? I told him that even though he would fully promise that he would choose me and the life we have together, I will always know this is not what he really wanted. It's not what he wanted. He wouldn't have brought it up if that's what he wanted. I told him that the thought of him being okay with sleeping with others and the thought of him being okay with that me, his wife, being in someone else's arms makes me sick every time I think about it. I had a feeling it's bad enough him wanting to be with other women, but him not caring that other dudes were with her, that is everything. Trust me, no guy wants a woman he's in love with, other dudes having their hands all over her. I also asked him whether he was already sleeping with others or had someone else in mind. He swore up and down this wasn't the case and gave me all his devices to check. Bullshit. Guarantee he has somebody else. And he's already clearing out his devices of proof. Come on. He just wanted to try the open marriage because, and I will paraphrase here, monogamy worked when people died when they were 40, but now when we live to be 80 or 90, maybe it wasn't enough. I'm the love of his life and he won't change, but do we want to be exclusive for 40, 50, 60 years? Well, isn't that what you signed up for when you married her? I asked him why he just doesn't want to commit to just me until one or both of us fall out of love and we go our separate ways, but he said he didn't want to fall out of love. He wanted us to be together because he loves our life, but also we could also see other people so it doesn't get boring. Good Lord. I told him that the life he's dreaming of isn't the life I wanted at all. He was very alarmed and said that in that case, he chose me and our family. He would do anything to gain back my trust, including therapy. I will try that as a last resort, but to be totally honest, I think we are over. I just don't want to throw in the towel without exhausting all options because I want to look back and know that I did everything in my power to save my marriage. I've even contemplated giving him a pass to open the relationship on his end, but then I'm not so sure if I can still be intimate with him, and then what kind of a marriage would that be? I know this is just an update, but please, if you have any more, just hit me. So that's the end of her thing before under comments here. And notice she obviously, it's an emotional roller coaster. Fair enough. And I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt that she's a loving, loyal, supportive wife. Benefit of the doubt here. And doesn't deserve this. Just like a good guy doesn't deserve his wife pulling the same shit. And, but no, she's willing to try therapy to say she tried it. And even she's like, well, maybe I'll let you go hook up with some women and make you see if it works. But it's not going to work. It's never going to work. It's just, if her gut's telling her and her feelings are saying it's over, it's over. And there's no fixing it. So best just amicably divorce, haven't married that long, and be great and amicable to each other and raise the kids separately and all that. And she can be with a guy that appreciates her. And he can go do what he wants to do. But it's sad when these things happen. But when just somebody brings it up, and I guarantee when he said, like, oh, here, check my phone, check my computer, yeah, you have plenty of time to clear all evidence. And believe me, you think he's really willing to risk his marriage when he doesn't think he has a sure thing? He's already hooking up with somebody already? Come on. So I wish her the best. But at the end of the day, guys, you can't go for this. It's just going to lead to disaster. But this is where we live in. And you think they're promoting this bullshit in the mainstream media. You see articles popping up all the time about open marriages, open relationships, blah, blah, blah. Look around. You'll see them. Now for some comments. One guy says, "You're the poly people who have harassed you can go F themselves. You made it clear that you didn't want any of this." I agree. Another guy says here, "The Reddit poly crowd is about as obnoxious as the Reddit vegan crowd and the Reddit atheist crowd, but not as bad as the Reddit poly vegan atheist crowd." Another one says, "In all seriousness, he either is already sleeping with other people or has a particular person in mind who he has already slept with the second she says it's okay. He just wants to have his cake and eat it too. No man would ask for an open marriage if he didn't already have an idea of what it would be like." Correct. And no man loves his wife if he's totally cool with her getting sausaged up by another dude or dudes. Another one says here, "And opening it up on his end will end in disaster. OP, you are very clear in your post. This is not what you want for either of you. Do not entertain having a one-sided open relationship. You're still going to have to co-parent with this man, and you want to end it as amicably as possible. You're going to end up resenting him so much more if he's sleeping with other people." And another one, this will be the last one. This guy says here, "I'm going to second this. As a child that grew up in this kind of dynamic, please don't do this to yourself or your kids." Okay, we're getting somebody that grew up with this shit. "It's not what you really want. Your children will pick up on what's going on, or they will realize it's not the life you chose, and you're secretly miserable about it, and they will resent their father for putting you through it. They'll lose respect for him as a partner and a parent. That's assuming they don't internalize that kind of quiet misery is how a marriage should be and what they should expect in their own relationships." Translation, the kids grew up seeing mom and dad miserable, the turmoil and all, and they think, well, they realize they're not, oh, that's how relationships and families are, therefore they'll get into relationships just like that. It'll happen, watch. There may be many people who are perfectly happy and fully open or have open relationships, and that is fine. Well, this isn't the case here with you, and your children will pick up on that. Please don't try to force yourself into a dynamic that makes you unhappy. And a freaking story. So I wish her the best. So to anybody out there that ever experiences this, whether you're married or just in a relationship, the crazy thing is when you hear people in actual, they're not married, they're just dating, and somebody brings up the open relationship, which is usually the girl, it's like, well, then break up. But no, it's always the cake and eat it too situation, and nobody brings this up unless A, they got somebody in reserves one way or another, and B, are close to sure of being certain that their spouse, partner, fiance, whatever you want to call it, ain't going anywhere. And nobody truly loves who they're with, would want them doing that with somebody else or they themselves. I strongly believe that, and people may disagree with me, but that's fine. So I wish her the best. And anybody else out there that's put in a situation like this. All right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below what you think about the situation. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.